Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. I am your host, Mr. Joshua. I want to talk to you about leadership. Who is a leader? The question is, are leaders born or are they created? Many times that's the biggest question everybody always asks. Am I a leader? Certainly I couldn't be a leader because if leaders are born, then the circumstances as to which I was born does not adequately give me the best privilege of being a leader. You see, it's very hard to say leaders are born or leaders are created because all of us were not born in the same manner. For example, I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. I was born into a family of poverty. My mother died 2 weeks before my 8th-year birthday. She died of kidney failure. We didn't have the resources to be able to help her. What many people consider to be poor here would have actually been luxurious living for me back home. And so how would you tell me that I have the same privilege to be a leader under those type of circumstances? For many of you, maybe you were not born in Nigeria like I was. Or maybe you were not born into the kind of family like I was. But you were born into a circumstance that when you look at that circumstance, it does not give you the perfect foundation you need to see yourself as a leader. I've come to realize that leadership actually is a mindset. That it takes a particular kind of mindset for you to actually see yourself as a leader. Whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, the question is, do you see yourself as a leader? The bigger question is, are leaders born or are they created? And so let's dive deep into it. A leader to me is simply somebody with untapped potential. A leader to me can simply be defined as a person who lives out their potential. So leader, person, lives out potential. The reason why this actually matters is because the question is not whether leaders are born or created. The question is, are we all born with potential for leadership? And the question that I want you to ask yourself today is, are you born with potential? You see, you may be born into a family where perhaps you didn't have the nicest things growing up. Perhaps you did not have the nice Jordans or whatever shoes are popping today. Perhaps you didn't have the nicest shoes or the nicest T-shirts or pants. Maybe you didn't have the nicest house or the nicest car. Maybe the resources you had was nothing compared to your friends or your neighbor. But one thing nobody can have more than you is potential. Potential has no bias. You see, whether you are poor or you're rich, we all have one thing that we are born with, and that one thing is the potential to be great. So you ask me, are leaders born or are leaders created? I tell you neither. Everyone is born with the potential to be great. Everyone is born with the potential to be a leader. Whether you come from the high hills or you come from the low valleys, you are born with the potential to be the greatest thing that ever happened to your community. The question is, do you see yourself as one that actually has that potential? I came here to empower you this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time you're watching this video. I came here to empower you, to tell you that perhaps you have been belittling yourself. Perhaps you have judged your capacity for leadership based on your resources. Maybe you're not the smartest in your class. Maybe you feel like, you know what, my people in my class, they have more money than me. They have better parents than me. Or they came from a two-parent household and I was raised by a single mother or a single father, or maybe you didn't have a mom or a dad. I came here to tell you that they may have more resources, but they don't have more potential. No one can steal your potential. Somebody can tell you, I don't love you. Maybe your dad did not love you enough to stay in your life. Maybe your mother didn't love you enough to stay in your life, but one thing nobody can steal from you is your potential to be great. That as small as you may feel, as low as you may feel, as weak as you may feel, you still got the potential to be great. You can be anything that you set your mind to be. It might take you crawling up there. It might take you walking up there. Somebody else might get on an escalator and you may have to crawl your way to the top. You may have to climb your way to the top. You may have to cry your way to the top. But you will get to the top because you have potential. So are leaders born or they're created? Don't ask me that. Ask me, is everyone born with a potential? And I would tell you yes. Because this little boy that was born in Lagos, Nigeria, stands before you here today, not because I was born with a silver spoon, not because I was born into the wealthiest family. I stand before you today because I woke up one morning and discovered my potential. I discovered that there was more that I had to offer to my word. And it is time for you to discover that there is more that you have to offer to your word. There is more than you have to offer to your community. There is more that you have to offer to your family. Are you born or created a leader? It's not the question. Were you born with uncapped potential? That's the question. And my answer is yes.